Hello folks, and welcome to the show. My name is Asa Morris, and this is Weird Week. It's like 300 degrees here in Austin, and you may notice a bit of a sheen on my face. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm sorry. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us, whether once again or for the first time. This is going to be a very UFO, UAP-centered episode, as it's been a little difficult to not just be inundated with various articles and reports and videos lately, as I'm sure you've noticed. The closer we get to June, the more it really seems to be ramping up, which is great as far as content goes, but maybe too much is too much. So, if that's your thing, stick around. I've got plenty for you. Before we get started though, let's do all the usual business right up front right away. Make sure you hit up our link tree in the description for all of the links to our socials, merch, Patreon, whatever else I have at this point. I'm not sure. I keep making new accounts on things and that's good, I guess. Oh, and also the podcast. Do I need to do the gag? That one? Which as of today has aired its season finale, discussing what to do in a couple of different close encounter situations. It's a good one. They're all good ones. The podcast, this one, will return in June for its second season. And I've got some really great plans for it. If you have any ideas that you'd like to see me discuss or any things that I should do with the podcast before we really get cracking on it, let me know. LowStrangeness@gmail.com. Finally, make sure you do the big 5, like, share, comment, sub, bell, and let's get into it. Because folks, on Sunday, hot off the back of the recent LowStrangeness episode detailing various lunar light phenomena, this post popped up on the r/Skydentify subreddit showing 3 white lights on the surface of the moon of varying intensities. The general response was noting that transient lunar phenomenon is a common sighting, as we discussed on the podcast, but just giving it a name doesn't explain it. It's certainly odd, and goddamn, I would like some answers. Also on Sunday, this strange video was brought to my attention, which seems to show a child or childlike thing appear on a busy Australian highway just south of Sydney. While the video itself is odd, the aftermath makes it even odder. Mitch Kuhn, who shot the video from a dash cam, and his passenger, alerted authorities immediately after seeing the child. Police said they would immediately put patrols out. A half hour later, Kuhn called the police back to offer his footage to them, and the police said they had located the child and that he was on his way home. However, police told the Daily Mail that they had searched the area and found no child. The search was called off at 3:45 a.m., and no missing persons report had been filed. Strange. On Monday, former Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid officially released this letter, reinforcing his efforts to originally get ATIP off of the ground with Senator Ted Stevens of Alaska, as well as backing up the validity of Lou Elizondo, if you still had doubts about either of those things. I'm not sure anyone really does. Reid and Elizondo have been very vocal about all of this. Last Friday, you may remember we covered a story about SpaceX having a near miss with an object. Well, apparently that never happened. Lieutenant Colonel Erin Dick, a spokeswoman for Space Command, said it was believed at the time that an object was going to come close to the newly launched SpaceX capsule carrying a crew to the International Space Station. However, we quickly realized this was a reporting error and that there was never a collision threat because there was no object at risk of colliding with the capsule, she said. They seemed pretty sure of it last week, and certainly used some interesting language to describe the event. That never happened. So... On Tuesday, in Apopka, Florida, this video was shot, showing a couple of shimmering dots that at first glance seem like they are most likely birds. However, this quick turn seems to suggest otherwise. The commenters in the thread where the video was initially posted were equally divided between the two apparent options. On Wednesday, we got this compelling footage with some lively commentary.
The fuck is that? What? It's a UFO!
Wait, it's oh, I gotta get out of here.
Look at this! Wait, what the fuck?
Where is it? Where is it? What? I can't find it.
Oh, wait.
Focus.
That is not a fucking bird.
Dude, a hawk doesn't turn orange.
What is that?
Dude, I can't get on my camera. Do you see
What
it?
is this, dude?
Wait,
Yeah,
wait, look.
What? Oh, dude, they see it, dude. Dude, they see it. What is that? What the fuck is this?
Are we in trouble? Bro, it's like,
Oh my god!
Interesting that only last week we discussed Canadian pilots reporting donut-shaped UFOs, and here we have a clear example of one, and some military jets for spice. On Thursday, this video came to my attention, a news report detailing an apparent dripping UFO setting someone's yard on fire in Canada.
We couldn't stay out here, but the flames were like, you could see them rising above the level of the balcony.
A Peachland homeowner and her husband had the scare of their lives when a mysterious fire abruptly started on their property only a few feet from their balcony.
My husband and I were sitting watching television, and I heard a rumbling noise outside, so I asked him to turn the sound off so I could hear what it was. And so, of course, our vision went away from the TV, and I looked out the window, and there were flames lapping over the balcony.
Luckily, someone saw the fire on the hillside and called Peachland Fire Department. Crews arrived as the Wilsons evacuated their home.
They were amazing, and they stayed a long time afterwards, putting out all the hot spots.
What makes the fire so mysterious is that a nearby resident caught an unidentified flying object in the sky. Mere media rumors were circulating. Many thought it was a meteor.
I went out to take out the garbage and seen something in the sky floating, and went back inside to get my kids, came back outside, and it's actually started kind of circling around and coming closer and closer. And then you could actually see it kind of like break up. And then you had a big chunk of something that just came down pretty fast.
Peachland Fire Department says the call that was made most likely ended up saving the home. They say only a few more minutes and the balcony would have been engulfed.
Scoundrels. And right back to former Senator Harry Reid for a moment. Reid claims that he thinks Lockheed Martin might have UFO fragments. He states that he had never actually seen proof of the remnants, but tried unsuccessfully to get approval from the Pentagon to find them. He states that he was told for decades that Lockheed had some of these retrieved materials. To be honest, Lockheed would have been my first guess. Where the hell else would they go? Also on Friday, I caught this clip of American ballsack Tucker Carlson interviewing Nick Pope. I'm not going to run much of the footage. It's fine. It doesn't really say anything new, but I love watching conservatives ask questions like this.
This is, among other things, whatever these objects are, a potentially very grave threat to nation states. So where was the intelligence community?
Because isn't this more of a global issue? If there's a YouTube channel that compiles Fox News hosts attempting to comprehend UAPs, send it my way. Every time I see it, I love it. Lastly, on Saturday, Coconut Grove, Florida is experiencing something quite strange. Thousands of koi fish are suddenly dying. Jen Wheeler, owner of Pond Doctors, who service fish ponds all over South Florida, has been running a number of water and oxygen tests and says she can find nothing abnormal. The mystery deepens, however, as apparently it isn't only fish in that area that are dying suddenly and without a clear cause. Reports of birds, plants, and even raccoons all dying suddenly have been reported in that area with no explanation. Florida. And that is our week. Again, if you see something that you would like me to cover on either this show or the podcast in a month, send it our way, lowstrangeness@gmail.com. Like every week, I'm not saying that any of this was true or real or whatever, even though most of this week came from official places, but these are mostly just things that caught my attention that I thought would catch yours as well. I always try to weed out fakes, which I don't think we really had any this week. The donut UFO, maybe a Mylar balloon, I don't It doesn't appear that way to me. Anyway, if you would like more in-depth discussions on various reports or events or activity, make sure you follow the podcast. So just the gag, here we go. Season 1 has just ended and Season 2 will be arriving in June. And even though I am definitely looking forward to a few weeks off, I don't know I'm going to do it myself. I just might record some anyway. I won't. I need the time off. Anyway, once again, thank you so much for joining us. My name is Asa Morris. This has been Weird Week. Please do the big 5. Like, comment, bell, share, sub. Yeah, 5. All of that. Take care of yourselves and the people around you. And I'll see you next week when I'm sure I'll say,